What is going on, everybody? My name is Repel from youtube.com/user/RepelGames, and we have yet another Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi battle. Now, I did mention, obviously, Sun and Moon is coming out, so I didn't expect to fight another Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi battle, but this is going to be our last Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi battle. After this match, I'm going to go straight into Sun and Moon, beat the game, and then record and show you guys Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battles. But here we are. This is our last ORAS Wi-Fi battle, and to celebrate it, we're up against opponent Goomba. And yes, we do have special rules for this battle. We're bringing region-specific teams yet again, so we're gonna have a Generation Wars battle. So obviously, I got the Hoenn team, and I look at my opponent's team, and it's obviously a Nova, right? For the most part, it's a Nova. But then I looked at the Rotom, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not really sure, because I'm pretty sure Rotom is not a Nova, it's Sinnoh. It's from Diamond and Pearl, but you know what? It doesn't quite matter. This was a fun match anyway. It's a really good match. So my opponent off the bat is going to lead off with the Kyurem. And talk about ferocity. I led off with the Registeel. Now Kyurem-Black can either just go for like a Focus Blast or an Earth Power, but you know what? I can still take those attacks because I'm freaking Registeel. I'm Hoenn proud. Hoenn represent. Give a huge thumbs up for Hoenn, everybody. So I didn't even want to go for a Thunder Wave because my opponent does have 3 Pokemon that is immune to Thunder Wave. The Galvantula, Rotom-Wash, and Krookodile. So I just went for the Stealth Rocks. Anyway, my opponent now just go for Sticky Webs. So I got a layer of rocks, he got a layer of webs. However, I do have a Rapid Spinner. And looking at my opponent's team, I don't think he has a Rapid Spinner. So I didn't care, I'm just going to go for a Seismic Toss. I don't care if he switches out or not, but he actually just stays in, goes for his own T-Wave, and that'll paralyze me. Again, that's not a huge deal, simply because Registeel is very slow. Speaking of which, Sticky Webs is not a big deal to me either, because my team is actually very slow. I don't really have anyone fast in my team. So I don't really care if I get, slowed down by Sticky Webs. Unfortunately, I do get my first pair of hacks, which, honestly, it's fine. Now, one more Seismic Toss might not kill, actually. So instead of going for the Seismic Toss, I'm actually going to go for the Earthquake. Earthquake slightly does more, which I should have used it in the beginning, but I didn't know that my opponent would actually stay in with Galvantula. But I suppose that Galvantula has done its deed, so he can just let it die. But honestly, is that really wise? Because I do have a Rapid Spinner chilling in the back. I love Hoenn. Hoenn Pokemon is probably one of my favorite Pokemon. It's just so diverse, so unique, and the designs are just really awesome. Mienshao is coming out. I didn't know what to do. He could go for a high jump kick and kill me, but he actually went for fake out. Now I do have a Banette. I do have a Banette that can absorb 1 high jump kick, and then he would, fall and get recall damage. But at the same time, I really did not want to get hit by knockoff, because the knockoff would do a decent amount to Registeel anyway. So I was really fearing the knockoff, or maybe even U-turn. My opponent stayed in and just go for high jump kick, and that's fine. It's my fault for not switching into the Banette, but that is okay. Like I said, my Registeel has set up Stealth Rocks, so I'm going to go out and bring my Milotic. I don't know what he'll do, but he actually goes for U-turn. So seeing U-turn, he probably is a Regenerator Mienshao, not a Reckless Mienshao. And that is fine. He's switching out. I just went for a Scald. Anything. I don't care. Like, anything can get burned. Serperior or Rotom-Wash. It's just funny seeing a Rotom-Wash in a Nova team. It just doesn't really... It looks a little bit misplaced, but anyway, it's fine. You know what? I love Rotom-Washes, and I like fighting them, so why the heck not? I actually do get a successful burn on my first Scald, which is huge. So, now, I don't know what this Rotom-Wash is. You could go for a Will-O-Wisp, or you can go for a Volt Switch. I'm expecting the Volt Switch. I really am. I could go into Claydol, but I just figured let's just stay in. I could take one with Volt Switch, right? However, he actually has Toxic. I'm like, dang. So when you see a Toxic on like a Rotom, you just automatically think like, okay, he probably doesn't have Will-O-Wisp anymore. We still don't know 3 of his moves. We only saw Toxic. So now I'm thinking, okay, he might go for the Volt Switch now. So I figured I could actually just switch use one turn and switch into Claydol, and then burn damage will slowly, diminish this Rotom-Wash. That's what I presumed at first anyway. But actually, he actually reveals as Pain Split, which is actually very unique. You don't really see Pain Split on Rotom-Washes anymore, but you know what, in this scenario, it's totally working. This Rotom-Wash is being a little bit a thorn in my backside, but how can I say this? Rotom-Washes are really awesome. Now I know for a fact he'll definitely go for Hydro Pump. I mean, what kind of Rotom-Wash does not have Hydro Pump? 2 Pokemon I can either go into. But before I do anything, I'm just going to go for Rapid Spin. I really thought he was going to go for a Hydro Pump. Like real talk, I thought he was going to go for Hydro Pump. I could live 1 Hydro Pump, but then I didn't care. I just went for Rapid Spin. Finally, I got my webs away. Not that it really matters, because for the most part, my opponent's team is pretty fast, while my team is pretty damn slow. Now, like I was saying, there are 2 Pokemon I can switch into, either the Breloom to absorb the Hydro Pump, or actually my Vigoroth. My Vigoroth is very bulky as well. And then my Vigoroth has Taunt, and I'm pretty sure my Vigoroth can outspeed a Rotom-Wash, and then I can Taunt it, so then he can't use Pain Split and Toxic. However, I figured, you know what, I think it's a little bit better I just go into Breloom. Not to mention, if my opponent decides to switch into Serperior, it's actually going to be a nice 2-hit KO with my Breloom, because my Breloom is carrying a Life Orb. But he actually just goes for a Hydro Pump, like I expected, fine and dandy. Everything is going according to plan so far, so I figured I'm just going to stay in and go for a Bullet Seed. If he wants to stay in, that is fine. Maybe expecting I would go for a Spore. And lo and fucking behold, my opponent actually stayed in to take 1 freaking Bullet Seed. He really thought I was going to go for a Spore, but no sirree. There's just no point for me to go Spore, because my opponent doesn't really have a defensive wall in this party. So now he does bring out the Serperior, and I can live 1 Leaf Storm. I really can. I could go for 2 Mach Punches, but then I do have recoil damage from Life Orb. So it's better that I don't go first in this turn. I let him go first, because if I go for a Mach Punch now, the recoil damage along with this Leaf Storm might just kill me. So instead of going for the Mach Punch, I'm actually just go for Rock Tube, and then drop his speed, right? But then I totally forgot Serperior has Contrary, so instead of dropping his speed, it raises his speed. I'm like, oh shit. Doesn't really matter though, because I still have 2 HP left with recoil. And I'm just going to go for a Mach Punch, and that'll finish off Serperior. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you fight Serperior. With a Breloom, essentially. To take Leaf Storms and use priority moves. So that's why I have, you know, Breloom and my Banette in my party. Because my Banette and my Breloom has priority moves. Because my team is so damn slow. Mienshao is back out. I think at this point my opponent has the, well, he has a lot of physical attackers. You know, he has the Kyurem-Black, which could be a mixed or physical attacker. He has the Mienshao and Krookodile. So it was my best bet to just go into Milotic. Now, my Milotic has the Marvel Scale ability, and what Marvel Scale ability does is that it raises my defense by 1.5 times if I am badly poisoned or burned or paralyzed. But at the same time, I don't really like being toxic. Unfortunately, I don't get a freaking burn. So his next high jump kick can actually destroy the living shit out of me. But from this range, you know, like a knockoff just might be able to finish me off. But I didn't care, I didn't want to risk it. I want to preserve my Milotic simply because my opponent still has a Krookodile. So I went to Banette. Really risky of me, like a huge gamble, but it paid off. He actually went for a fighting move, which is sweet. And now I'm going to Mega Evolve, and now you guys are gonna get to see my new team member. Yes, my Mega Banette. And I'm just going to Mega Evolve and just go for the Shadow Snake, and from this range, of course, I can destroy a Mienshao. Mega Banette has such high attack, and I love his Prankster ability. So down it goes, finally. Now my opponent sends back out the Kyurem-Black. Again, we don't know what this Kyurem is. Could it be a special attacker? Could it be a physical attacker? Or could it be a mixed attacker? I didn't really care, I'm just going to go for a Will-O-Wisp. A burn Kyurem is better than nothing, honestly. And we get to see, now it turns out he has Freeze Shock. I'm like, wow, I have never seen Freeze Shock ever. Animation looks pretty awesome, not gonna lie. Not that I'm surprised. This is Kyurem-Black we're talking about. And I take it right in the fucking face and I get paralyzed. Like, wow, this is no bueno. His next attack can easily destroy the hell out of me. So I'm gonna switch out. My Shadow Sneak obviously cannot kill from this range. So I'm going to go to Vigoroth. I'm thinking, you know what, this is actually a good opportunity to bring out my Vigoroth, because my Vigoroth can take special attacks, because it has investment in special defense, and not to mention this Kyurem is now burned, meaning I can also take physical attacks. So I figured, let's just bring out my Vigoroth here and execute a mini sweep right here. Honestly, I love Vigoroth. It's one of my favorite normal type, one of my favorite Hole 1 Pokemon, and I love it so much more than Slacking. Simply because it can use Bulk Up, it can use Taunt, and it can use Slack Off. It's a great bulky sweeper, and I love bulky sweeper. So from this range, I have to go for a Slack Off now. like I said, my team is so slow, so I have to predict when to use bulk ups and when to use slack off, which is fine. Honestly, I don't think speed determines victory. Speed honestly hardly determines much. So long as you just have priority moves, I think you're good to go. But occasionally, speed is pretty useful too, not gonna lie. I love me some Greninjas and Crobats, so this burn is actually killing Kyurem. I actually was hoping that I could just build up some bulk ups and then just finish off this Kyurem with a return. But you know, from this range, I honestly don't even have to lay a finger, and I just keep using bulk up, which is fine because I still have to fight my opponent's Krookodile. And my opponent did go for Free Shock, and I'm just figuring, well, this turn he's just gonna go for his Free Shock and then burn will kill him. So do I even need to attack him? I was just like, nah, I'd rather just go for a slack off to prepare myself for the Krookodile. We don't know what this Krookodile is, you know, he could have like superpower. So I gotta be really careful, but there you guys have it. Vigoroth versus Kyurem, not so bad, right? Now my opponent sends out his last Pokemon, which is his Krookodile. Save the best for last, and he will actually just go straight for the crunch. We don't know what it is. Could it be Choice Band? Expert Bell? It's not Life Orb because he doesn't get recall damage, so I'm thinking maybe it's Expert Bell or Life Orb. Or maybe he has like a Lumberry. Anyways, I just went for return, and that will finish off Krookodile. A little mini Vigoroth sweep at the end, so thank you, Goomba. This was a really good battle, and I love it. It's just a great way to end my Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi battle. So guys, please remember to like it for my last ORAS battle, and I will definitely see you guys once Sun and Moon comes out. Have a great day.